Hello, my name is Andrea Corbett, and I am going to talk about fall prevention. Specifically, I'm going to hone in on walking and working surfaces. Next slide. So, the purpose of this program is to establish the minimum requirements and responsibilities for employees when on walking working surfaces, including elevated work platforms in the manufacturing facility as well as on job sites. Now, I know in the manufacturing plant we have the elevated dock to kind of help, or the elevated platform to kind of help us slide the cabinets off of the dock into the box trucks. So that helps, reduce the hazard of tripping out on the dock when we're loading up. So, this program is designed to protect all employees engaged in work activities that expose them to falls when working 4 feet or more above a lower level at the manufacturing plant and 6 feet or more at a job site, prescribed in the Occupational Safety and Health Administration's Walking Working Surfaces Standard 29 CFR 1910.21. Next slide. The scope. This program applies to all Sundance Cabinet employees, including faculty who perform any work activities that expose them to slips, trips, or falls through unguarded floors and wall openings, floor holes, and falls from elevated work platforms within manufacturing and on job sites. Next slide. Responsibilities for the safety coordinator. They are responsible for development, implementation, and administration of the Walking Working Surfaces program, conducting workplace risk assessments to determine the need for fall protection, development and implementation of fall protection training, reviewing, updating, and evaluating the overall effectiveness of the Walking Working Surfaces program. Next slide. So, responsibilities for the directors, supervisors, and managers. They are responsible for ensuring employees can recognize potential hazards, notify the safety coordinator of each fall hazard that their employees may face, notify the safety coordinator of the need for fall protection training, including when a new employee is assigned and when there is a reason to suspect a previously trained employee does not have the understanding required to safely work from elevated workplaces. So with that, the safety coordinator can also notice, if an employee is not quite being trained properly, or if they're just not quite understanding exactly what they should be doing on walking working surfaces. So either the safety coordinator can step in, or it can be the supervisors and managers, since they are right there every day, noticing these things. They are also responsible for ensuring employees attend all required training, and they periodically evaluate the effectiveness of the program as it applies to the work that their affected employees perform in providing feedback to the safety coordinator. So they need to make sure that this program is working, for their specific field, just for the cabinet industry. Because without that, you don't want to be training on things that don't pertain to our specific company. Next slide. The responsibilities for directors, supervisors, and managers continued. They are also responsible for contacting the safety coordinator for technical support when questions arise regarding compliance and safe procedures. They ensure that proper safety equipment is supplied to the employees who need it, such as fall arrest systems, guardrail systems, tow boards, and supports for designated areas. They ensure that all workplaces are safe to conduct the work that the employees are expected to perform. They also notify the safety coordinator if contractors are observed working in an unsafe manner. So if we are on a job site and the contractors, there's going to be a bunch of people running around. Everyone is trying to get their job done as quick as possible. And if someone notices that a certain contractor is not doing stuff in a safe way, then we need to step in and say something. Next slide. Responsibilities for employees. Complying with the rules set forth by this program. They also need to notify their supervisor when questions arise surrounding safe procedures, the need for fall prevention equipment, and difficulties complying with these requirements. Reporting all accidents and near-miss incidents, which is a big one. Inspecting all personal fall arrest systems for signs of damage and deterioration prior to each use. And I want to point that out, prior to each use, because it needs to be inspected every single time you pick up a piece of fall prevention. Always checking the straps on harnesses and things like that, because you could have put that harness away and it was fine, and then someone else used it without your knowledge, and then you go back and put it back on and one of the straps are broken or frayed or something like that. So it needs to be inspected after every single use. They're also responsible for attending all required walking working surfaces training annually. So we're going to do that each year just as a refresher to make sure everyone is on the same page. Specifically because, new technologies are always coming out, so you never know if we're up to date on what we, the safe practices and things like that, what we need to be doing. So it's always a good thing to do it annually. The employees also must be wearing steel-toe work boots. Now, this is a new thing for Sundance. I think it would be beneficial because, when we're out on the job sites and things like that, you never know if the other contractors' housekeeping skills are great or not. You never know if there's going to be water or, liquids on the ground or anything like that. You never know what could happen. So I think it would be a good idea to go ahead and have those steel-toe boots. And on the manufacturing side, it's a good thing because, when we're going to load up these cabinets off the dock into the box trucks, these are big cabinets and you don't want them to, fall on your foot or anything like that, because that's going to be some heavy stuff that hurts your foot. And so I feel like steel-toe boots would go a long way. Next slide. Okay, so responsibilities for contractors. I just kind of threw this in here. Contractors working on site are required to comply with 29 CFR 1926.501 and all other applicable OSHA workplace safety regulations. Contractors' safety programs shall be available for review upon request by our safety coordinator. Next slide. So training. Training will be overseen by the safety coordinator, of course. Instruction on using personal fall arrest equipment by the vendor supplying the equipment. Instruction will include methods of use, limitations of the equipment, inspection and storage, which is a huge one I've already talked about just a little bit, and proper anchoring and tie-off techniques, including determination of elongation and declaration distance. The safety coordinator will maintain documentation of attendance, which will include the employee's name, department, and date of training. Next slide. Okay, so record keeping requirements and program evaluation. So for record keeping, training records are retained by the safety coordinator, of course, and are available anytime you need them through the safety coordinator. Now, program evaluation. The written walking working surfaces program shall be reviewed annually and revised as necessary. So like I mentioned, if new technologies and techniques and things like that come out for this specific program, then the safety coordinator needs to go in and review that each year and make sure we are still in compliance and up to date with everything that's going on. Next slide, please. Okay, so walking working surfaces general requirements. All walking working surfaces shall be kept clean, dry, and orderly. Every floor, workplace, and passageway shall be kept free from protruding nails, splinters, holes, or loose boards. And this this will go under the job site as well as manufacturing, simply because sometimes housekeeping gets out of hand, in the manufacturing when we're producing so many cabinets and things like that. So, sometimes a nail slips or things like that. So we just need to be aware and more conscious about where our nails go in manufacturing so we don't step on them and things like that. Now, on job sites, this pertains to our employees as well as other contractors, simply because, housekeeping is always an issue. So, just being aware of your surroundings and making sure there's nothing on the floor, no clutter or nails or things like that. Okay, so walking working surfaces general requirements must have the strength and integrity to support employees. So all walking working surfaces need to be able to hold an employee. Covers and or guardrails shall be provided to protect personnel from the hazards of open pits, tanks, vats, and ditches. The floor or roof of a building shall not be overloaded with materials and or equipment over the approved load limits. Elevated storage and other platforms shall be marked with the load-bearing weight. All permanent aisles and passageways shall be clearly marked, have adequate space for passage of both moving equipment and employees. They need to have safe clearances at all turns, doors, and shall not be obstructed by physical barriers or stored materials. So again, with that, just housekeeping is a big thing. Making sure your aisles and passageways are completely empty. There's nothing being stored there. Blocking ways and things like that. Next slide. So this applies to manufacturing and on job sites. Floor openings, wall openings, and holes. Every floor opening shall be guarded by a standard railing. Toe boards must be installed around floor and wall openings and where the potential exits for tools and other materials to fall on people working below. All floor and wall openings, including manholes, trapdoors, pits, ladderway, floor openings, and chute openings, must be safely covered or blocked from access. When an opening is not covered or blocked from access, a person must be assigned for constant attendance to the opening until the cover is replaced. Covers must be sound, solid, not easily opened, and cannot project more than 1 inch above the floor or surface level. All hinges, handles, bolts, or other parts must set flush with the floor, or cover surface. Barricades that are designed to prevent someone from falling into the opening must be visibly noticeable and cannot have additional openings that create additional fall hazards. Floor surfaces surrounding the opening shall be free of clutter and slippery material. Next slide. Okay, so this is just specifically for manufacturing. Fixed industrial stairs, standard stair railings, and handrails, shall be provided on stairs with 4 or more risers. Standard railings include top rails, mid rails, and toe boards shall be provided on all exposed stairways. Handrails shall be provided on at least one side of closed stairways. A fixed stairway must be designed and constructed to carry a load of 5 times the normal live load anticipated at any one time and be able to safely carry a moving concentrated load of 1,000 pounds. Fixed stairways shall have a minimum width of 22 inches. They should also be installed at angles to the horizontal of between 30 to 50 degrees. Stairway platforms shall not be less than the width of a stairway and must be a minimum of 30 inches in length measured in the direction of travel. Next slide, please. Okay, so also for manufacturing, dock boards, which are bridge plates. Portable and powered dock boards must be of sufficient strength to carry the load imposed on them. Portable dock boards must be secured in position by being anchored or equipped with devices that prevent slippage during use. Handholds shall be provided on portable dock boards to permit safe handling. Next slide, please. On site, designated areas must only be established on surfaces that have a slope from the horizontal of 10 degrees or less. Consist of an area surrounded by a rope, wire, or chain. The line must have a minimum breaking or tensile strength of 500 pounds. The line must be installed in such a manner that its lowest point is no less than 34 inches or no more than 39 inches from the working surfaces. The line forming the designated area must be clearly visible from any obstructed location within the designated area up to 25 feet. The perimeter of the designated area must be erected no less than 6 feet from the unprotected side or edge. The access to the designated area shall be by a clear path formed by 2 lines. So the next slide just has my references on where I got most of the information. So with that, I just wanted to go ahead and say thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to talk to your safety coordinator, your managers, your supervisors about any risks that you think you have seen either in manufacturing or on the job site. Either one. They are both very, valuable places, and we need to keep all of our employees safe no matter where we're at. On job sites, it can be a little bit trickier because, like I said, there's a bunch of different contractors and things like that there. But I'm sure, you can talk to your supervisors or your safety coordinators, and they will be more than happy to step in and let that contractor know, hey, this isn't safe, you need to do this way. And hopefully, after that, things will, go back to a safe place, and they will, do what they are supposed to do. Thank you for your time. Bye.